Aramba Dahal. Let's begin with the main stories. Parents of raped and murdered Nirmala Panta resort to indefinite strike. Demand the government to identify and punish the culprit. Government fails to determine posting of police personnel at central and provincial governments. Federal Police Act yet to be finalized. Hospitals in the capital fail to follow even the basic environmental criteria, exhibit negligence in managing harmful wastes. And Manchester City walk past Manchester United 3-1 at the derby in the EPL. Barcelona suffer a shock 3-2 defeat against Real Betis in their first home loss in 2 years. The government has recommended ambassadors for 3 nations, including the southern neighbours, India. The cabinet meeting held yesterday evening proposed former minister, lawmaker and ambassador Nilambar Acharya as the ambassador to India. The post had been vacant for a year after the then ambassador Deep Kumar Upadhyaya resigned before the parliamentary elections. Acharya was also a member of the Nepal-India Eminent Persons Group. Likewise, the meeting proposed Krishna Prasad Dhakal as the ambassador to UAE and Udayraj Pandey to Malaysia. Pandey is former ambassador to Saudi Arabia and Dhakal is a joint secretary at the Foreign Ministry. The parents of Nirmala Panta of Ulta Kham, Kantipur, who was raped and murdered, have begun an indefinite sit-in demanding the government to make public the culprits involved in the heinous crime. Father of Nirmala Panta, Yagiraj, and her mother, Durga Devi, have begun the strike right at the gate of Kantipur District Administration Office as the government has remained helpless to arrest the culprits despite the lapse of 3.5 months since her murder. They have alleged the government itself for protecting the culprits. Nirmala's father, Yagiraj, said that their protest will continue till the government arrests and makes public those involved in the crime. Our family has reiterated that the weak police investigation was the major reason for the culprits to run scot-free. Public Struggle Committee has supported the strike. Nirmala, who had reached her friend's house on the 26th of July for study, was found murdered after being raped a day later. The government has started the process to deploy staff at the federal, provincial and local levels by endorsing their posting as per the federal structure. It has, however, yet to determine posting the deployment of police personnel in the central and provincial governments. The Constitution has provisioned provincial governments to have their own police force. The governments, however, are not able to recruit personnel right away. The 75,000 human resource in Nepal Police need to be deployed at both the central and provincial levels. Their postings, however, are yet to be finalized. Even the law required for the deployment of the police personnel is yet to be formulated. According to the Home Ministry, the government is preparing to send required human resource to the provincial governments. The ministry said that a law would be formulated that would allow the provincial governments to recruit staff in the vacant posts of the retired staff. The draft of the Federal Police Act prepared by the Home Ministry is currently at the Law Ministry. The draft act, however, is not clear on the aspects like possessions, promotions, jurisdictions and transfer of the police personnel. According to a former Additional Inspector General of Nepal Police, Devendra Subedi, the government should move forward the deployment by forming a police commission to avoid complexities in the process. Most of the hospitals in Kathmandu Valley have been found of ignoring the minimum environmental criteria. The government observation has found that almost all hospitals above 25 bed capacity have been very irresponsible in regards to management of wastes that can easily contract diseases. Despite appearing well facilitated from the outside, environmental and sanitation aspects of hospitals in Kathmandu Valley are in a petty condition. Monitoring conducted by the Environment Department at government and private hospitals above 25 bed capacity found out the hospitals of disposing remains of human organs following operation directly into rivers and throwing wastes directly at the municipality vehicles without required waste treatment and processing. In addition to that, wastewater from these hospitals are directly sent to the drainage system while garbages are burnt on the roof of the hospital buildings. These acts are direct violation of environmental criteria. From among the 41 hospitals where the department carried out the observation, 98% were found to be violating the minimum criteria. Gangalal Heart Center, Kathmandu Model, Norvik, BP Memorial, Nepal Police, Manmohan Memorial, Martyrs Memorial, Green City, Nepal I, Binayak, Prasudi Griha and Ayurvedic Hospital, among others, have been directly ignoring the regulation. Management of the waste from hospitals has been increasing diseases and directly affecting the public. Based on the legal provision, hospitals violating the minimum environmental criteria can be fined between 500,000 to 2.5 million rupees. However, the government has so far not taken action against any guilty entity. It is now time for a short break, but for more news, do stay with us. The highway that connects Dolakha with Kathmandu has been damaged. However, the construction work and renovation has been left unattended. Due to the irresponsibility on the part of the contractors, thousands of passengers passing through the highway are compelled to have a troublesome travel on a daily basis. In this context, we asked the passengers, the locals and tourists regarding the problems they've been facing due to the damaged condition of the roads. Let us now take a look at what they had to say.
Public voice.
एकदम गाह्रो भइरहेछ यात्रा गर्न सानो सानो गाडी र आउनै गाह्रो छ यहाँ हैन अब ठुलो गाडीको पछाडी परेछ ठुलोले गर्दाखेरि सास फेर्नै गाह्रो भइरहेछ
बाटो गल्टिङ गुल्टिङ अब गाडीहरु आको आइ फेरि साइड दिँदैन ठुलो गाडीहरु पनि लोडमा आइरा हुन्छ उनीहरुलाई नि आपत अनि त्यतिकै धुलो धुवा
समयमा पुगिँदैन त्यही त भने अब गाडी बिग्रिन्छ के हुन्छ अब जाम हुन्छ एउटा गाडी बिग्रियो भने अब छिर्ने ठाउँ छैन
बिमारी हुँदाखेरि अब जस्तै बोलेरोमा काठमाडौँ लिएर जाँदाखेरि बाटोमा केही हुन्छ कि भन्ने डर पनि छ एम्बुलेन्स लिएर जानलाई एम्बुलेन्स अब ठाउँ ठाउँमा खाल्टाखुल्टी छ समस्या छ
लल्ला भन्नु डर हुन्छ अब यो खाल्टाखुल्टी बेसी भयो के सामान ल्यायो भने नि ल्याउन नसक्ने बाइकमा हिँड्दा त धुलो छाडो त्यतिकै बिहान भन्दा अगाडि हिँड्नेछौँ
धुलोले अब वहाँ पुग्दाखेरि घटम बसेको भन्दा नि चर्को हुन्छ अब वहाँ फेरि बर्खा लाग्यो तपाईको हिलोमा पछारेर घुँडा फुस्केल भन्ने डर छ
It is now time for our segment Public Pulse, where you text us with your opinion.
Public Pulse.
The question is, what do you term the misuse of land under the ownership of industrial areas? Your options are A, consequence of lack of actions. Option B is unethical practice of businesses. And the final option, option C, is vague policies. The voting is on. You can type any WS, select your option, A, B or C, and then send it to 34001 to share your opinion with us. With this, let us move on to some sports news.
Sports news.
Manchester United manager Jose Mourinho said Manchester City's preparations for their 3-1 derby victory were helped by playing in 2 friendly matches during the past week. City returned to the top of the Premier League table as goals from David Silva, Sergio Aguero and Ike Gundogan earned the champions 3 points at Etihad Stadium. But Mourinho said the hosts had an advantage as their past 2 games home thrashings of Southampton and Shakhtar Donetsk, in which they won by an aggregate 12-1, were significantly more straightforward than his team's most recent matches. This was United's 3rd away match in succession, following back-to-back wins at Bournemouth last weekend and Juventus on Wednesday. City's victory was rarely in doubt after David Silva bundled home an early goal to give them a narrow interval advantage. They got the second their superiority deserved, with Aguero's rasping rising finish past David De Gea 3 minutes into the second half, following an exchange of passes with Riyad Mahrez. Mourinho's side, without injured Paul Pogba, barely mounted a serious threat, but were given hope of earning an unlikely point just before the hour when Romelu Lukaku was hauled down by Ederson seconds after he had come on as a substitute. Anthony Martial sent the Brazilian the wrong way from the spot. It briefly revived memories of last season's dramatic derby at the Etihad when United came from 2 goals down to win, but City never looked like losing control and wrapped up the win 2 minutes from time when substitute Gundogan took advantage of static United defending to beat De Gea from close range, following a 44-pass move. Aguero may have gone from brunette to striking blonde, but under the new hairstyle remained the same lethal striker who has been the centerpiece of so many of their successes. Elsewhere in the Premier League, Chelsea were held at a goalless stalemate by Everton at Stamford Bridge. Arsenal had to share points with Wolves following the 1-1 draw, and Liverpool secured a 2-0 win over Fulham. Barcelona lost a home league match for the first time in 2 years as the Spanish champions were beaten by Real Betis' expert display at Nou Camp. Junior Firpo gave Betis a deserved lead after 20 minutes before veteran Joaquin made it 2 before the break. Lionel Messi scored a penalty in reply, but a Marc-Andre ter Stegen error saw Giovanni Lo Celso add a threat for Betis. Arturo Vidal's tap-in gave Barca hope, but Sergio Canales got the away sides 4th before a Messi consolation. Ernesto Valverde's side remain at the top of the La Liga table, 1 point ahead of Sevilla, Atletico Madrid and Alaves. The hosts had Ivan Rakitic sent off for a second yellow card with 8 minutes left when trailing 3-2 and were powerless to match a determined and clinical Betis side despite Messi's 2 goals on his return from a fractured arm suffered 3 weeks ago. Barca's previous home league defeat came on the 10th of September 2016 when they lost 2-1 to Alaves. Betis had lost on their past 8 visits to the new camp and had not won there for more than 20 years. But they came away with 3 points that lifts them up to 12th position in the table, courtesy of an impressive display built on adventurous counter-attacking and smart play in possession. Kike's sit-in side went into this game having scored only 8 goals in 11 matches, the lowest return in La Liga. Here they mastered 8 shots on goal to Barca's 5 and scored most from half of those. Ter Stegen did let a Lo Celso strike slip through his gloves immediately after Messi had scored Barca's first from the penalty spot, which slowed the home side's momentum. But nothing should be taken away from Betis, who more than deserve this victory, which keeps Barca's rivals for the title within touching distance. More sports news. Australia and India have registered their second successive wins at the Women's World T20. Australia crushed Ireland by 9 wickets in the match played last night. Ireland won the toss and chose to bat first at the Providence Stadium in Guyana, West Indies, where they managed a meagre total of 93 runs, losing 6 wickets in 20 overs. In reply, Australia chased the target of 94 runs in 9.1 overs, losing just 1 wicket. Alyssa Healy remained unbeaten at 56 runs as she scored the quickest half-century of the Women's World T20 of just 21 balls. Australia had previously seen off Pakistan by 52 runs in Group B. Another match last night saw India see off Pakistan by 7 wickets. India had secured a 34-run victory against New Zealand in their first match. Bangladesh play against England at the Women's World T20 tonight. And now, before we wrap up, here's a look at the top stories one more time. Parents of raped and murdered Nirmala Panta resort to indefinite strike. Demand the government to identify and punish the culprit. Government fails to determine posting of police personnel at central and provincial governments. Federal Police Act yet to be finalized. Hospitals in the capital fail to follow even the basic environmental criteria, exhibit negligence in managing harmful wastes. And Manchester City walk past United 3-1 at the derby in the English Premier League. Barcelona suffer a shock 3-2 defeat against Real Betis in their first home loss in 2 years at the Spanish La Liga. That is all for the moment. Our next English bulletin will air at 11 a.m. Keep watching Kantipur Television SD for more news and entertainment. Thank you for watching. Have a great day ahead.